because Lee, I've been going through like such a terrible, I don't know, they say like the dark night of the soul, but for like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 12 years or whatever, since I stopped drinking. Maybe I should start drinking again. Maybe that was the problem. I should have stopped drinking. I'm just fucking going through hell every day of my life.
Mysteries, hidden history, and the unexplained. Join William Collinson and Lee Strydom on Strange and Mysterious World.
This is Strange and Mysterious World and Season 3, Episode 22. And William and I, we've got a couple of things to chat about tonight, so we're going to get straight into it. I was saying a little bit earlier that, you're having a chat to me and you were saying you're feeling a little bit down because of all your moving and, all that kind of stuff. And you get aggravated, especially when it gets late at night and you're still trying to do a whole lot of stuff. But like you said to me, hey, no, once I've chatted to you, I feel a lot better. But that's kind of, like I said to you as well, I said, a lot of people actually say that to me. Like once they've had a chat, they feel much more lighter and, it's okay. So that's why I said, I think I'm in the wrong business. I think I actually need to be doing something else, helping people maybe.
Should I? But, it's so funny. I just went to go see an astrologist. I didn't go see him. It was over Zoom.
Okay.
I don't know how you would say that. I just had a consultation with an astrologist, and he said I'm also in the wrong business. You know what he said? He said that I should be selling houses or into creating spaces. He said I should have been. He said I should be an architect. Sorry, that's what he said. He said I should have been an architect. That was my calling. So I missed the fucking calling.
Completely.
Yeah, so I should be an architect.
Well, you are an architect in a way in that you're developing movies. So you got some sort of architectural structuring there.
Yes, but I need a break from that. But it'd be interesting. You should go see him. I would love to hear what he said. He said about what he would say about you.
Well, the Zoom call.
Yeah.
How much did it cost?
$900.
Ah, fuck. Okay. Yeah, I don't have $900 yet. Have to pay my bloody holiday off.
Yeah, but these guys coin it, eh? Like all of these, like spiritual people that you go for, like any spiritual thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's always 900 to like 1,200 rand. I mean, so if they do like say 8 of those a day, 8 hours in a day. I mean, surely they won't do 8 in a day, but I mean that's a. I mean, if they just did 5 in a day,
yeah,
and you did that for
it's $4,500. $4,500 per day.
So you would get if you did it for 20 days, you would get 100,000 rand. Huh? So it's like
no. So how many did you say per day?
5.
Yeah.
So you get 1,000.
4,500 per day. How many days?
Yeah, 5,000 rand a day.
Yeah.
For 20 days.
Yeah.
You make 100,000 rand.
Yeah, $100,000.
Fuck, maybe we should get into astrology or any of these practices. Fuck it.
Okay, but now, so tell me your astrology thing. So how did that work? So, what made you decide to do that? And what was the whole thing? Because astrology is to do it like the star signs. So how did you get involved in that?
It's like because Lee, I've been going through like such a terrible, I don't know, they say like the dark night of the soul, but for like, I don't know, 12 years or whatever, since I stopped drinking. Maybe I should start drinking again. Maybe that was the problem. I should have stopped drinking. I'm just fucking going through hell every day of my life. But and I've been going through the spirit, like going through because I tried the whole psychologist thing, but I mean I've been trying the psychologist thing since I was 12 years old because I kept on getting expelled from schools and like and being a naughty kid and they didn't know what was wrong with me. So I've been studying psychologists my whole life, and I just it never helped me with anything. So I mean I was on all the Ritalin, antidepressants, anti-anxiety pills, and then I got into all the spiritual thing, thinking that was going to help me. And it did certain things like kind of, I mean, I got off the antidepressants and the anti-anxiety pills, but sometimes maybe I think should actually stayed on them. But
No, but you don't want to be staying on those things, dude.
But so I don't know, I moan a lot on this podcast, but it has been a fucking rough time. And So now I see this astrologer, right? And he needs, he wants my birth date and where I was born and the time of I couldn't find out the time that I was born. My parents didn't have that. My mother gave me my birth certificate, which is funny because my ID number is wrong on the birth certificate. The ID I've been using my whole life is different to what's on my birth certificate. So I'm thinking, like, how did that work? Because surely I've used it for everything. So which one's wrong? Is it because Home Affairs must be, it's got my name on it and everything. So I know it's mine, but my ID number is different from what I've been using my whole life. So I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, so I don't have a time of birth. I even phoned Grace Hospital in Pietermaritzburg because I was born in Pietermaritzburg. Yeah. Not that I was born there and I went straight to Mafeking and only came back there later on in my life. But so apparently that has a big thing to what in your astrology chart, but I couldn't find that. I even phoned them. I phoned Grace Hospital. I actually picked up the phone. Can you believe it? I thought there's not a fucking chance, It's Grace Hospital, government hospital, is a private hospital.
No, government. So you're very lucky for them to have picked up.
Yeah, so they actually picked it up. And then I went through about 6 different channels. They kept on just putting me to the next person, the next person, the next person, and we went around.
Yeah, that's normal.
And then eventually, they were just like, no, after 5 years, we actually just get rid of the records. So we don't even... So anyway, so I see this astrologer and he says to me, he goes, yeah, no, you've been going through a terrible cycle, for many years and it's coming to an end. And he said it's I must check because I've actually got it all written down, in a calendar now, in September. He says it's finally coming to an end in September, right?
Okay.
So that, that's a good, I hope it's right because sometimes, I've done every single spiritual thing that you can think about it here, especially here in Cape Town and on Zoom calls and everything. And I think 95% of it's just all bullshit. I just think if you believe it, it'll work. I think if you do anything and you believe it enough, it will work.
Yeah. So that's the secret, isn't it?
So you actually just healing yourself.
Yeah,
so you have to believe it enough to, and I think that's also with some of them where the more you pay, the more you're going to believe it works because you're like, fuck, I just
because you paid your ass out for it.
Just spend on 20 grand on this one. It's this one's definitely going to work because it's the most expensive thing I've ever. And then it works because you've believed it. I think that's actually, those guys are the cleverest when they put their prices up to a ridiculous rate. Because then they know that you're going to believe that it works, and then it works, but it's just a load of bullshit. But so it's got me thinking because it's going to end in September, and if it does end in September, then I'll be like, yes, I've just gotten around this whole spiritual fucking block, trying every single thing, and I was just going through a cycle. So, but then it also made me think, a lot of these people, when they do a spiritual thing, they go to a Joe Dispenza workshop and then they try that meditation that he taught them, and then they do the meditation for a year, and then they cure the psoriasis all over their body, or they had nosebleeds their whole life and then the nosebleeds have gone, or, you hear all of these miraculous things of all of these people, all these different practices or gurus or whatever that are teaching something, and their disciples or the people that want to follow them or do their courses, they do it for a certain amount of time and then boom, they're cured of the thing. But then I was just thinking maybe it's just all a cyclical thing, because I'm sure there's say about 100,000 people do a Joe Dispenza meditation for a year, and 2 have these miracle things that happen to them, right? But you're only going to hear those 2 that had the miracle thing, and you think, oh my God, this is amazing, it works, it's the thing, I found it, and then you do it for 2 years, and then if you believe it enough, it'll happen to you, but if you don't, then nothing happens to you. But the thing is also, now I'm thinking, because it's a psychical thing, what do you call it?
Yeah, that's right.
So if it's a psychical thing, then just say you were going to come out of this thing in about a year or 6 months or 2 years. Now you're doing this practice, and then you're doing the practice, and then you come out of the cycle that you're in because of your astrology or whatever that's happening in the heavens, and you come out of it. Now you interpret it to the practice you've been doing, but you're going to come out of it anyway. So I could have just been drinking. I could have been doing beer yoga. Drinking beer every day for a year, and then my stars align and I pop out of my shit that I'm in, and I'm like, fuck, the beer cured me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's a thing. So anyway, we'll see in September.
I don't think so. I think it's got a lot to do with karmic debt. Because I think as you go along in life and as you gather whether it's good or bad, you start gathering karmic debt and karmic relief. So the bad stuff that you're doing becomes your debt. The good stuff you do becomes like almost like your relief. So if you accumulating too much debt, you're going to go into a bad phase, and it might stay there for a long time until you can actually come out of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, maybe I was that guy that executed, you know, in like France or whatever, they put the people's heads and then they just chopped them. Maybe I was that guy that got that job. And I just cut off like thousands of people's heads.
Yeah, could be.
I mean, okay, maybe I would be have a lot worse life. But anyway, I mean, I've got a great life. I'm just like not enjoying it, you know, because it's just like I feel shit all the time. But but actually, I feel better anyway because so I don't want to moan on this podcast all the time, but. The other thing that was quite interesting that happened recently was that, you know, we did angel number podcast like a while ago.
But before we get onto that, so what was this whole astrology thing? So does he have astrology chart? So does he look at it and say, okay, what is your star sign? Sagittarius. What are you?
Cancer.
Okay. So does he say, right, so Cancer, you are halfway with Gemini, or Gemini was coming out into Cancer, and that leads you more towards X, or did he just say, you've had a hard life? He probably has been listening to a podcast, so that's probably how he knows you've been having a bad life.
No, I'll get it. You never know.
So he knows you've been having a bad life, but you know, it's easy for somebody to say you're going to come out of it in September. But what was his method? I mean, how did he get around to saying that it's a cyclical thing and you're going to be coming out of it in September? Did they actually use a proper chart?
I'll show you now. Which is not good. I can't even remember. Donnie or
yeah, because it's quite.
So anyway, so I went in there and then he it's almost like going to, you know, when you see a psychic, it's kind of that experience. Like when they start like predicting things for you. Well, he does. He shows me a chart. It was so complicated. I mean, I didn't know what I was looking at, and I was like, whatever. And also, he got my daughter's birthday and my daughter's mother's birthday and the you know, the place, the time and whatever. And then he can also see like how they've been affecting me and how I've been affecting them, and kind of map out certain things. But like, I mean, he'll just be like, he would say like, okay, June 23rd of June to the 1st of July, you got to watch out. There's health issues. You're gonna have a low back problem. Be careful with heavy lifting things. He also says that like these things he's warning me about, and then you can change it. So he's warning me that I'm going to have a back problem probably between that date, June and July. So I've got to watch out. So then that date I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to go skateboarding or fucking surfing or moving stuff. So I'll watch out and maybe I can change it. I don't know. I just hope it's not going to be too bad. Yeah. So then you'll say like, you'll say July, feeling more positive, creativity boost, family connection, whatever. Then he says like in September, I'll have depression and a panic attack. Then in October, in September, I'm going to have a panic attack. Okay. In October, I'm going to have like a romance. There's going to be romance in my life then.
Okay.
Low back risk again.
Yeah. It's probably from the romance.
Yeah, I hope so. It'll be worth it. Jeez. Okay, cool. Small price to pay. I haven't been laid for ages. Yeah, I hope it's not too bad, because if she's sticking around, then I'll just lie on my back. So then he says, September. No, we already did September. So when is this thing? When is the fucking thing ending? Oh, sorry, it's on the 11th of February next year.
Fuck, that's way off, eh?
This is end of depressive period officially.
Yeah.
Feel much better by this date.
Okay. So now my suggestion to you
bunch of other stuff.
My suggestion to you is pack that away. Okay, don't even look at it again. Don't check to see what dates. Don't check to see anything. Leave it as
I wanted
is.
to make sure I don't fuck my back up.
No. So my suggestion now is see what happens as it goes.
Yeah.
If you feel
I'm thinking
something,
about
then,
doing it.
if you feel
Yeah.
something, you think, ah, fuck, my back's a little bit sore. Then you make a note of the date. Because you remember you said, okay, you spoke about your back, you spoke about romance, you spoke about panic attacks. So if these things
I'm
happen,
definitely gonna
make
check
a
it out,
note,
yeah.
but don't check on there. Rather check when in February next year to say, okay, so this is what was said, this is what came true. Or
But
what
yeah,
not
I'm
came
also
true.
and I'm definitely going to do that. That's why it was so funny because like I recorded it on Zoom, right, the whole thing. Then I just put it into Da Vinci. I said make a transcript, made a transcript. Then I put it in ChatGPT and I said ChatGPT just whatever he said, put it in a calendar for me. So it fucking whipped out the calendar. It made a beautiful calendar for me. And then I said and all the other important things that I got to remember because there was some exercises that I had to do, like write my life journal, go on a pilgrimage, and he gave me some things I need to do as well. So then he did all of that. He had quite a thick Afrikaans accent, so I thought, fuck, is this thing even going to hear? The software isn't going to know what he's saying. Like, how's this transcript going to come out? But it came out pretty well.
Okay.
And then, but now I'm going to go see another astrologist, and then I'm going to see what they say.
What matches up.
And I'm going to compare the two.
Yeah.
I want to see 3. I'm a bit broke at the moment, so I'm going to have to wait until like next paycheck. Got a job at the end of the month that's going to be pretty good. So then I'm going to go see 2 other ones, and I'm going to put them together and see which ones match, and then check which ones come true, and then whoever's the best one, it comes out the best. Then everybody listening to this has to give us like 100 rand, and we'll tell you which one's the good one.
Yeah, you can go and see those dudes. That guy. Yeah, they're cool. All right, so now you were saying about the angel numbers?
Okay, so yeah, then we did a podcast like a while ago on angel numbers, right?
Yeah.
And
just for those people that didn't hear the podcast, angel numbers are kind of these recurring numbers that come up in your life. I get it. Well, my wife gets it quite often with 2222, especially like at the time 2222. I see lots of 4s, double 4s, triple 4s, 4 4s all the time. So those are kind of angel numbers. Yeah, carry on.
So yeah, so I was. It's such a long story. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. People can go back and listen to it. But anyway, I was seeing this 555 number the whole time. I didn't even know what angel numbers was at that time. I just thought, what the fuck am I seeing this 555 number for? It was like really weird because I'd never ever heard of angel numbers, and I don't know what. And it was just always bringing up to my attention. Why am I seeing this 555? And then I went and I did some research. I was looking online because it was it was very weird. And then I'll just quickly go briefly through that thing. Then I met this girl, and we got to chatting, and then on our first date, we rocked up there, and I saw on a number plate there was 555, and I was like, you won't believe this, but I've been seeing 555 everywhere, and this is so weird. Now you got a 555 number plate. But anyway, my life changed dramatically from that relationship. I mean, it's like people have to go back and listen to other things. So it was a huge life-changing shift for me from that relationship. I mean, she made me, move out of this place that I was in. I stood up to my ex. I got out of this bond that I was paying on my previous house that I had with her. Like a whole bunch of stuff shifted, and also then that girl broke up with me, and it broke my heart, and I thought life was over. But looking back on it, it's as much as it was, I felt it was like so horrible and so shit. It actually was such a amazing, life-changing like boost that she gave me, and that 555. When I looked on the internet, it meant big changes are coming, right? Or big change is going to come, or something like that. So then anyway, so now I've just moved into this new flat here. That's it's like the first property I've ever actually bought. Oh no, second. Sorry, the one with my ex, my daughter's mother. But this is my own place. That one I was sharing with this. And then when the estate agent, he was showing me the place and everything, and then when I thought, no, I'm going to take it, I'm going to buy it, and then I gave him an offer, or I was talking about what I can offer. I looked down at his number plate while he was getting into his car, and it was 555. That was quite interesting,
Very interesting. Synchronicity.
So, yeah. And then another thing is that we did the face reading episode with Gideon.
Yeah.
And he's an acupuncturist. So he said, no, come and do some acupuncture. So I was going to
Who, the guy that sold you the house?
No. Like that's some. And now I'm going on to something else. Sorry.
So you're talking about Gideon.
Yeah, now I'm talking about Gideon. I'm talking about
so Gideon also does acupuncture. Okay.
Yeah. He also does acupuncture. Well, that's what he does. I think the face reading thing is like a side thing.
Okay.
But so anyway, so I'm going through this acupuncture thing, and so I've done it like 4 times now, once every week. But I was having a problem sleeping.
Yeah, you've been saying in the last podcast. You've been saying that, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been, like for a while, I've been like, and the week before I went to go see him, I had the worst insomnia ever. I would wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, like and usually I'd meditate or do some breath work or whatever, and I'd be able to fall asleep like an hour or hour and a half or 2 hours later. But now I would just wake up and I'd be awake from 3 o'clock until the next night. Like I just could not sleep. I'd breath work. Like I end up just start working because I can't get to bed, and like so frustrating, like in anger actually, like fuck what, like so angry that I can't sleep. And then I'll go all the way through the night, get to bed at 10, 11, and then wake up at 2 or 3 again and just fucking go. So I was having this problem, and then Gideon's like, okay, cool, we're going to do some needling for that. So he does some needling, and that night I go home, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck this fucking acupuncturist, what a load of bullshit, just another stupid thing that's just a load of fucking bullshit spiritual crap.
Yeah.
But then I've slept ever since that night. After that, I've slept through the night.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was like 3 weeks ago.
Okay. So what? So what do they do? Does he put like those long Chinese needles?
Yeah, like we have to actually have him on again in the show, because all I can think about of acupuncture, because Chinese people actually were the first. They had the first civilization before anybody else. Like they thousands of apparently, they invented writing and civilization.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that came up. Yeah,
and like and also medicine. So and everybody says gunpowder. Everyone can think about the gunpowder thing, but they can't think about everything else that they like they're the first of everything. Yeah. So acupuncture, I mean, I don't know, is this like 2,000, 3,000 years old? Because all I can think about is this thin needle. It is so thin.
Yeah.
Like, Lee, it's like it's as thin as your hair. I'm scared this thing's going to break off in my body when he's putting it in. I was like playing with it because I wanted to see if it was going to break off because it's so thin. But then now that I know how long it is, like every time he sticks it in me, I almost faint, even though I can't feel it. But because I'm imagining this fucking long thing going in my body. But so
you can't feel it.
No, you can't feel. Or sometimes like my muscle tenses up or something where he's putting it in. But like otherwise, I can't feel it. Even this one, I open up my jaw and he puts it through this. Like if you kind of you open your jaw, like, and there's like by your jawbone here, it opens up a little hole there. He sticks it in there, and it's fucking long. It's like it's about half the size of my finger, like how long it is, and he sticks it right in there. So anyway, I just try not to think about it because I'm just scared of needles. I mean, I'm always scared, like, when he's finished, I'm, like, checking on my body, and I'm like, have you sure you got all of them out? Sure, because, like, I don't want to start driving, and then I find one in my body while I'm driving, and then I fucking, like, I just faint, because I will faint. If I find one stuck in me while I'm driving, I'll just faint and just fucking fly straight off the road and kill myself or someone else. So, and he forgot one in my stomach the one day, but I wasn't driving. I was just, like, I was making sure everything's out, and I'm like, dude, there's one still in my stomach. And then he's like, yeah, sorry, he takes the one out of my stomach.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but I mean, sorry, to get back to the point, like if this is the 3,000 years old, what were they making those fucking needles out? I mean, what kind of machinery did they have 3,000 years ago that they could make a needle as thin as a hair out of metal? Or maybe they were using bones. I don't know. They would fucking sit there and just carve a bone into this tiny little...
They've been using needles for a long time.
How would they make them? Anyway, it would be interesting to get them on and talk about it. So anyway, then also I was having this problem. I was peeing all the time, right? Like every hour. I mean, I'd go to the movies with my daughter, and I'd pee before I go in the movies, and then like halfway through the movie, I'm like, for fuck's sakes, I need to fucking pee again. Like I'm just thinking, oh my god, I'm just getting old. This is old age. Like I wake up in the middle of the night, I got to pee. But he goes, no. So he says, no, it's adrenal gland failure. You know, you burnt out or whatever, and that's also the ringing in my ears, and I don't know. He's going on about that. So he did some, and actually, I haven't had the peeing problem, but like since. So I think he solved that as well. I'm still got the ringing in my ears, so that's the next thing I'm gonna tell him. Like, dude, but you haven't fixed the ringing in the ears. Everything else seems to be going.
That's because you're going to have to look like Pinhead. You got pins all over your head, yeah. So you're going to look like a Pinhead.
So I think maybe there's something to this thing, you know, or maybe I'm just believing it's working. I don't know.
Well, that sounds, wow, yeah, that sounds actually pretty cool. But the sleep thing is quite important, though. So as long as you can sleep through, that's a good thing.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Tell me about your creatine now. Are you still taking?
Oh yeah, and then the creatine thing. Geez, so the creatine, yeah, that thing's a load of shit. So I don't know that. I've been on that. I've watched every single podcast about creatine because it's like the newest health fad.
Yeah.
And I've been taking it for like a month and a half. I haven't felt any more energized. Well, I mean, I suppose I did have that insomnia. Maybe it gave me insomnia. But I've been having sleeping problems before the creatine. Yeah. So, and the thing is, I've been taking it for like almost 2 months, and that sleeping thing only came on like really badly halfway through the. Anyway, so it's supposed to give you this exuberant amount of energy. It's supposed to make you like clever. It's supposed to be your brain. It's supposed to be extremely good for your brain. I know we did this on the Tits podcast. For people that want to go listen to this, it's two idiots talking shit. That's why it's called Tits. It's Lee's idea. Don't fucking judge me. But we did it on there, and I was saying that firstly. I don't feel any more energetic, but also it's supposed to make you more clever because it's supposed to protect your neurons and like there's a whole bunch of science around it. But that one day I went to the movies with my daughter, I couldn't even find my car. Like I came out and I'm like looking everywhere for my car, and then we went up, we looked on all of the stories of the car place, and I couldn't find it. My daughter's crying her eyes out because she thinks we're going to be stuck in the mall forever because she's 6 years old and she thinks that's it, we're done, we're stuck in the mall forever. And eventually she says like, well, I saw it too. She's like, Dad, I saw it too when we got out of the car. So I'm like, okay, great, thanks, we're level 2. So she found the car, and then I was thinking, I thought this creatine was supposed to make me clever. It's making me like dumber. I can't even find my car now in a parking lot.
Yeah. So I've got a friend of mine that was listening to the podcast, and he actually WhatsApped me. They said he's double thinking now whether he should take creatine or not.
I don't know, it's so funny because I get into these health things, right? And I'm like, I become an evangelist before I even try it, because like I've listened to all of the other fucking people that all brainwashed me to death. Like, no, this is the greatest, the next thing. Like, even I told you, I watched the podcast where it says like creatine myth, ? Like creatine, a load of crap, ? So you think like, okay, now this guy's going to tell me a bad story about creatine. And then you watch it and it takes him about half an hour to get to the point of what so you just fast forward to the end, and at the end he's like, and it worked amazingly, because they obviously needed a hook to get you into the YouTube videos. Yes. And then they're like, it worked amazingly, my energy's I'm so strong, and look, I'm contemplating space and time every day. I'm like almost as good as Einstein now because I'm so smart, and I fucking can run around the block like 400,000 times and take my daughter to school and do the sandwiches and do a 12-hour job and go to the gym after that and fucking do everything. And I did it, and it's a load of bullshit. Like they all lie. That's what I'm saying about. Like in the beginning of this podcast, it's like if you believe it's going to work, it's going to work.
Yeah. So
they just all con themselves.
But that's why the Matrix was so good, because it says, and it that's one of the biggest things in the Matrix, the movie, is to believe in yourself, to believe that you can do it. And if you've got that belief, even in the Bible, it says, even Jesus says, if you have faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So
and if you walk on water, you can walk on water.
Yeah, but you can't have a shadow of a doubt. That's the thing. There cannot be any doubt. You have to believe, dude. And I'm not saying, look, jump out of a window and think you can fly.
Well, fuck it,
don't try that shit. But just to go diving out of windows trying to think they can fly, because they've been taking too much LSD.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Oh, fuck, did this thing just cut out?
No.
Sorry, the microphone just cut out. Anyway, so I heard this story about this woman that she was considered a witch, but she was like a alternative healer or whatever. And there's this lady friend of mine. She went to go see her, and she had warts on her hand. And the lady just said, "You got to do this. You got to go to the bridge. You got to do this thing, and you got to throw the thing off the bridge in the water, and your warts will be cured." And she did it, and nothing happened. And then she came back and she said, "Nothing happened." And then they said, "Well, you got to believe that it's working. You got to believe that you throw it off and it's going to work. You have to believe it." Then she went and she did it. Woke up the next morning, warts are gone.
I was actually reading or listening to a YouTube. It wasn't a podcast. It was to do with ancient mystical law. I'll send it to you. I'll put it in the notes, show notes. The idea about it is because we have access to the outer realms and everything, like all matter exists. Everything is around us. Whatever we say, when you say something, you react a chain reaction. If you say something negative, you lock yourself into that negative. Even though you say it might be out of total context. You must say, fuck, I'm a total idiot. I shouldn't have done that. That's a negative. Like, I shouldn't have actually said that. But it's a negative, and it brings upon negative. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't. There's nothing there that sits there and looks at your wording. It's just your context. So if you say it even out of stupidity or out of goodness of your heart, you're saying something. That ache's an idiot, or it's a negative, and that negative will always come to you. So you've always got to have the positive. You've got to rethink what you do and rethink what you say. You might be thinking it, but you've got to word, as in the beginning of the Bible, where it says God created earth, that it was the word of God. Word, the sound, the vibration of discussion or talking, is what creates your world around you.
Yeah, that's why they call it spell, because it used to be spells. In the olden days, 100%.
It's very, very interesting where they're talking about this whole thing about discussion and talking. So think before you say anything. Don't say it negative. Don't say anything negative, as much as you might be feeling negative. Like I know you do a lot. That might also be one of your problems, because, like you said earlier, I'm always complaining, and I always complain. I don't like to complain. That's a negative. So that could be also one of the reasons why you always have the negative,
for sure.
because you're saying it a lot, and you keep thinking about it. So maybe I'll send it to you. I'll put it in the show notes for those that want to listen to it. It's a very, very interesting documentary, if you could call it that. For guys, it's on YouTube. It's very, very interesting.
You know what's so funny is that, like, I know a guy, right, who actually went camping with him in Namibia with my parents like a few months ago. He's the wealthiest guy I know. I mean, he is so wealthy. Lee, you don't actually understand how wealthy he is. And also his son is so well. I mean, dude, they are so they are so wealthy. It's incredible. And he says it's all because of Scientology. He's a Scientologist, right?
Yeah.
No, but this is it's quite fast. And also his son's a Scientologist. But he's the guy I'm talking about. He's like 81 years old, and he says all because of Scientology. So, and I'm just open to whatever. I'm just like, whatever works. Like, if this thing makes me believe it's going to work and it works, I don't care if it's Scientology, if it's making
Satanism.
I don't know. I'll just try everything, you know. And also the thing is, what I also found is that if there's like something that people are like there's a bad connotation or something, you know, that I'm always interested, like, what's going on there? Why is people so against it? What's happening there? I'd like to find out what's going on there, you know, like, because I think actually there's something, if people are really afraid or angry at it or whatever, there's something there. And also, it was like it's like a huge organization. So there must have, something that they were doing there must have been working to get that big. I mean, it couldn't have been, you know, the thing doesn't just blow up like that because of bullshit. There's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you actually why it blew up, but yeah, okay.
But anyway, so I mean, I've watched the documentary on going clear on Netflix or whatever. But this guy, he swears by it, that it was all Scientology. So, and I want to, geez, the stories that he told me about, because I do this auditing thing where it helps you like relieve trauma. I mean, the things he was telling me, I mean, it was so remarkable. I'd love to have him on the podcast to actually talk about it. But anyway, so he said, so I was like, well, I want to go do that. It's called auditing, where they do, it's like it's almost like counseling, but they do something that helps you release certain like attachments and things in your mind, so you can you can
more focused,
or like you can be the like 100% the best potential that you can be. It puts you in like, so you can be the most potential that you can have. So he says that no, but it used to be when he was part of it, it was the real thing. It's been like totally and utterly changed, because Honorable Hubbard, and then I've seen all the documentaries, all the negative stuff, but that's the thing. It's like one side of the story, because there's three sides of the story always, in every single thing. Even when between me and you talking now, between if the fight with your wife, everything in life, there's always three sides to the story. There's the two sides, and then there's the truth. So yeah, I'm hearing his side and I'm hearing the side on Netflix, but there's somewhere there's truth, and there's like I can make a documentary about anything and make someone look terrible, and I can make one that makes them look amazing. You know what I mean? It's just all propaganda. Yeah. Everything you watch. So like I would like to find out for myself, but the thing is that he said it has changed a lot since then, because Honorable Hubbard was trying to actually just free people from. It is kind of like a Gnostic belief that, we were all trapped on, it's like a prison planet, kind of trapped in a body, and because there's like some evil thing that's keeping us here, and because they need us for nefarious things or whatever, and we have to try and break free of it. So it's got like that kind of Gnostic kind of belief, but in a really sci-fi kind of thing, because he was a sci-fi writer, obviously, and he was a prolific one, and he wrote the most sci-fi things ever. You could pump out like a sci-fi novel in like 10 minutes. Yeah. So obviously it maybe got affected by it. But anyway, he was saying that he was just trying to create something to free mankind, so they could be the best potential that they could be in this world. And it's obviously people whoever's controlling us, whatever you want to call it, the cabal or the elites or whatever, that whole thing, they don't want it. So they've obviously manipulated it to their own way now. And it's not the same Scientology it was when it started, when he was part of it. And that's why he said to me with the Dianetics books, you must read the Dianetics book, but read the ones I give you, because they've also changed all of the language and everything in the books. So they're not even the same books that were back then, because it's been all infiltrated, he said. So anyway, so to take this fucking long story, whatever, so I've gone to do some business lessons with him, because I'm thinking like, geez, if this guy's like I'm shit, I'm like totally, business fucked, it's not going well with me. I'm going to go and check this out. Like, I mean, if this is the richest guy I know and his son, and they swear by this is the way to go, I'm going to check it out. So I've gone to go. I did a business lesson with him, and it was actually very, very interesting, and like it made so much sense. And also, he was saying one of my biggest problems is the negative thinking, and he said that you just got to sit there for like an hour every day and just be like thinking, and just write down, okay, positive thought, negative thought, positive thought, negative, which is kind of like meditation, really, but it's more like you're writing it down so you become more aware. I think it's actually a great idea. And and he said the negative thing is like a huge thing, and he said you got to make that your like a rule in your life, that you must not have any negative thoughts, you must not have any negative communication. That's one of the biggest things that he says.
The problem with that though is you're always going to have negative thought, because it doesn't matter. We're humans. I mean, we think you got somebody that cuts you off in traffic. You're going to have, unfortunately, that's it. But I think the main thing that you might have the thought, but the main thing is don't say it. Yeah. Don't react to it. So like, Oaks cut you off. You're not going to start swearing at the guy. F4. You know what I mean? You hold back, know that it's happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Just carry on.
But yeah, but the thing is,
it's difficult to do it because we're humans, and that's how it is. So we always going to have negative. That's never going to change.
Yeah, but sure, unless you become enlightened. But that's that's what he was saying, that there's two types of power in the world. He says that there's power like the way you can manipulate the space around you. That's one type of power. And the other type of power is to hold your being, that it doesn't get influenced by the outside. I mean, I'm totally fucking up the language here, but
yeah, it sounds right.
like you're not getting influenced by anything externally of yourself. And I mean, that's what all of the spiritual traditions, the proper ones, not like any of the new age stuff, like, well, the new age stuff as well, but like that's what the core thing is that you got to be like so in equilibrium with yourself and know thyself so well that nothing can influence, like nothing can affect you. Somebody can come up to you like screaming and shouting, you're a loser, whatever, or like, something happens in your life and it doesn't affect you. I mean, it sounds weird. It sounds like you must be like retarded. Like if they cut that part out of your brain out and you're just walking around like, oh, I'm so fucking happy. Oh, nothing can fucking. but that would be like a superpower. I mean, I think that would be the most incredible thing, and that's what. And I think that, yeah, obviously that's like what you're aiming for with meditation and all of that, is so you can stop those negative thoughts and nothing can influence you. So you can be happy all the time. You can be completely like in complete equilibrium with yourself, that you don't have to look for any other external source to find happiness, or like nothing can affect you negatively because you're so like powerful inside yourself. And I think that's incredible. That's what I want, and that's what all of the spiritual stuff that I've been doing is to try and like tame my mind so I can not have those negative thoughts. But it's fucking hardly.
No, it is. Well, I suppose it is practice. I mean, I do practice that as much as I can. I used to be very angry, like if I'm driving and I get cut off, dude, I'd have road rage, like one way. So I have over time managed to kind of just kind of back myself off of sort of bad situations and just ignore it, because I know I can't do anything about it. It's done. It's happened. It's an event that's happened, and I do catch myself. So, like for example, today a guy cut me off, and I caught myself because I got angry. I was like, but then I thought, like, look, there's nothing you can do. So I realized I got angry. You can feel the blood pressure. You can feel the anger rising, but then you just let it go. There's nothing you can do. It's done. What you're going to do now? You want to cause an accident? You want to cause a fight? What happens thereafter? What's the consequence of the fight? So just let it go. There's nothing you can do. Just move on. But it's difficult, dude. It's like it takes a lot of time, and I'm still trying to practice that daily as much as I can.
Yeah. I also try and find myself like, I mean, when I judge somebody, I usually, whatever I'm judging them about, I find that within myself, like quite quickly, like in the next day or so, I do exactly the same thing. So whenever that happens, like if someone cuts me off and like I'm like, fuck that person, like I'm so like irritated with them, then I find like a day later I cut off somebody and I'm like, shit, I was actually so pissed off with that fucking other dude. Now I'm doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But then when I see someone do that, then I kind of like put myself in their shoes and I'm like, okay, why would they be like cutting me off? Because obviously maybe they're late for the meeting and now they're like trying to get there and like now they fucking...
No, taxis are never late for meetings.
So then I just put myself in the... Yeah, I suppose, yeah, you're right. But so then I feel sympathy for them and then I'm not angry at them,
Yeah.
But another thing that actually worked for me, sorry, I know I poo-pooed the whole spiritual whatever fucking thing in the beginning, said it's all a load of bullshit. It's only if it works, in your mind it works. Well, maybe that, sorry, I'm not going back on that. I'm just, the other thing that interesting that I think worked was homeopathic medicine, right? So I don't know if it was that or it was the cold plunges I was doing, but because I was cold plunging for I think like a few, I don't know, for quite a long time. The only reason why I stopped was because I moved out and I went to go live with my sister because I was financially so fucked. Sold everything, living with my sister, and so I couldn't cold plunge because I don't have a cold plunge anymore. It was in storage, but I've just got it out now with my new place now, so I'm going to start cold plunging it. But anyway, sorry, I'm making a fucking long story. But I would go into my sister's house and I could not. I was so allergic to the cats that I couldn't stay in there longer for like an hour because I'd start itching my eyes and I'd fucking like getting asthma and it was hell. So then I started going on this homeopathic medicine But it made it worse. Like I got worse. Like now, when I walked into her door, I would immediately get affected. Like I couldn't even. I remember dropping off something the one day there, and then the whole way home, scratching my like. I went in there and I stood for like 10 minutes, and then my eyes were like all welling up, and I couldn't. It was actually quite scary because I hadn't even touched the cat. I hadn't even touched anything in the house. I was just walking into that house. And then I was taking the homeopathic medicine. I was doing this with the cold plunges, and the cold plunges apparently are supposed to also make your body extremely resilient. Like, because after I read that book, all of the fucking Wim Hof books, it was saying that even people with autoimmune diseases and stuff like that, this cold plunges like fix it. And there's a whole science behind it, whatever. So I was doing it at the same time. Now I've lived with my sister for over a month now. I never got an itchy eye once.
Okay.
Or asthma or anything.
That's actually interesting.
With the cats. So I don't know if it was a homeopathic medicine that stopped all the cold plunges, or I don't know.
I'll go the cold plunge.
So many things. No, that's what I was quite stoked. I was like saying, it's a cold plunge, but I don't know. I haven't cold plunged either for a month, and it's.
I think the homeopathic thing is more of a placebo. I don't know, because I've taken some of that stuff and it's never worked. I'm sorry. I know some people swear by it, but it's
aggressive at one stage. Anyway, so that was quite interesting. The thing is, I'm doing so many things at the same time. I never know if it's that, or if it was a meditation I'm trying, or the cold plunges, or the breath work, or the homeopathic thing, or
it's a combination of everything. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Or the raft machine, or the
shit. Yeah, that was awesome, man.
Okay, cool. I think we bored our audience enough now.
Yeah, no, awesome, buddy. I think it's time to head off now. But much appreciated for your time, Will. Much appreciated for everybody listening. We will be having a guest on sometime soon with regards to dimensions. We're going to be Althea back on sometime soon. I'm not sure which podcast, but she's going to be coming on. Guys and girls, thank you again for listening. Please like and subscribe when you can. Our subscribers are actually growing quite nicely, so thank you to everybody out there for subscribing. And we'll chat to you soon. See you next week. Thanks, Will.
Okay, cool. Cheers, dude.